It's like
Dracus du Plessis is injured. What does that mean for the 185-pound division? As Adesanya said he wants a rematch with Sean Strickland. Machado Garry takes on Prates on short notice on a very, very interesting fight night this weekend. And Evloev vows to break Volkanovski when they fight. Here with the two legends, Luke Tanner and Jamie Phillips. Sit back, relax, it's combat catch up. Let's get into it. Yes, lovely people. Hope you're well. Please do smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and more importantly, make sure you subscribe to Luke and Jamie's channels as well. Boys, how are we doing this evening?
itchy.
Tired.
What?
Oh, dear. It's already started.
It has indeed. It has indeed. Look, boys, last time out, Sean Strickland was unable to beat du Plessis, and we all sat there and said we want to see and we have to see du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev next.
Yep.
We even went as far as saying, even though Khamzat's the boogeyman, du Plessis may be an even bigger boogeyman and maybe the kryptonite to the guy who seems like he's unbeatable. Jay, I'm going to start with you. Obviously, news is broken of du Plessis being out injured, and it's thrown uncertainty in the way of the 185-pound division. Do you think the UFC wait for du Plessis to recover from his injury, or do you think they run another fight instead for an interim belt?
So, do we know how long he's injured for, what he's done?
We do not know. Plus, the last time he fought was February, so he's only been out of action for 2 months and a bit.
Okay. When do we reckon they will go do this International Fight Week?
International. I reckon that was going to be the main event.
Do you reckon? I would have gone as far as to say it probably like October time, because I still don't know if Khamzat can fight in.
That was the rumor that it was going to be International Fight Week.
I'm just working out if they're saying the fight might not happen now because of his injury. I would say the fight was going to be quite soon. Then.
Yeah,
potentially. So yeah, you could. So you're right, Luke. It was linked to UFC 317.
Yeah,
which is what, July?
Yeah.
Yeah.
June 28th.
Yeah, so that's quite. We're coming up to May, so yeah, that's like 3 months.
Big up the deal.
I hope they. If a fighter's injured, you can't wait for him. I don't like all this waiting around for injured fighters.
Wouldn't strip him though.
Don't strip him. Don't strip him.
Pause.
It depends. He's a good-looking guy. You give a fight. You do another fight, and then just the winner fights the champ when he comes back. You got to keep everything going. You got to keep everything going. Actually, no, fuck it. If you're injured, get stripped. If you're injured, stripped. If you can't fight in a calendar year. So if you're injured in May and you're not ready again till January 2026, and you can't fight the rest of the calendar year, strip them of the belt. But when you come back, you're guaranteed the first shot. When you're back, no warm-up fight, nothing like that. You're back in the title fight. That's the promise.
All right.
Otherwise, you're holding up. Like if he goes right, we're not going to strip him of the title. We'll fight when he's back and ready. What do you do with the rest of the division? You can't let a number one contender fight and somebody. Like if I'm number one contender, I've been promised a title fight. I'm not fighting him.
Ding ding ding, interim title.
But they don't want that no more, do they?
Ding ding ding.
They want it.
Well, obviously Khamzat Chimaev and I think Kaya Brahalio was talking, saying that they've agreed to fight and stuff like that for an interim belt. And Khamzat tweeted a picture of him choking out Brahalio in training. So trying to build something up with that. If Duplessis is out and can't fight for International Fight Week, I'd have Imavov versus Hamzat for the interim belt. For me, that would be the best fight to make at the moment. And have Brahalio versus like Whitaker or something like that, because it looks like Izzy and Strickland are going to do the dance again. So that's how I'd sort things out at 185 pounds. If Duplessis is out, Imavov versus Hamzat for the interim belt for me.
What's your thoughts on that for an interim title fight, Jay? Because I like it. I spoke on this last night. I like that as an interim title fight. Striker versus wrestler. Imavov just knocked out Adesanya. Hamzat just absolutely destroyed Whitaker.
Yeah, do the fight. Yeah, just do it.
Speaking about the 85-pound division, Adesanya said that he wants his next fight to be against Strickland. Now, we're going to speak about Strickland later on in the show because he's had another incident.
Again?
Yeah, go figure, eh? Do you think Adesanya should get the Strickland fight next?
You finally dropped someone. Sorry.
Yeah, do it. Just do it in a fight night. Like, it shouldn't be on pay-per-view.
Oh, that would definitely be on pay-per-view, Joe.
I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see it, man.
If it made events a pay-per-view, then I'll rise.
I won't main event a pay-per-view, but it'd definitely be a co-main or third fight on the card.
Yeah, I don't like that fight. I really don't. I don't think it changes. I don't think. Here's my problem with that fight. I don't think Izzy changes his style now. I don't think he's capable of at the age he is, and his reactions are just gone. And I think he's just not go change the way he fights either. You know, he's not going to throw. He just comes forward, tries to look for his shots. So I just don't want to see it. I think it'd be a terrible fight. I think it's two fighters on the way down, and their skill sets are not good enough to change and evolve. I think it'd be a boring fight. I can get why Izzy wants it, because he wants to get a bit of justice losing his fight. But for Strickland, I'd be like, if I'm Strickland, that is, look, actually thinking of it, if I'm Strickland, I might take that fight because everyone else at the moment's maybe not a winnable fight for him. Yeah. But Izzy's probably still a winnable fight, and he can say he's beat Izzy twice. And has anyone done that?
No.
Has anyone beaten Izzy twice?
No, they haven't.
You can say beat Izzy. No, like in UFC.
Yeah, UFC.
No.
So he could say he's the only man in UFC that's beaten Izzy Asandra twice. So maybe the fight actually makes sense on paper. I don't think I'd enjoy watching it personally.
Do you think Adesanya's Luke? I'll ask you this. Do you think Adesanya's legacy is being tarnished the more losses he has? Because let's be honest, I believe everyone still considers Anderson Silva the greatest middleweight of all time, right?
They did tarnish it a bit,
yeah. But I think for Silva,
his slide at the end was really bad. However, because of how he won fights in his prime, everyone remembers that. Izzy didn't necessarily have the prime of Anderson Silva, even though he did put on some amazing performances. Do you think if he were to lose against Strickland again, do you think that throws his legacy into a little bit of a trance?
I don't know whether it would damage his legacy. I think in some people's eyes, in the social media world, I think people would deem it to damage his legacy. No, I don't think it would. I don't think it would really. I think his legacy is already set. He's already definitely the second greatest middleweight in UFC history. Obviously, he's not above Anderson Silva. No one is. But he's definitely cemented himself as the second best middleweight in UFC history. Yeah. I don't think another loss to Strickland would change that. But it all depends how he loses to Strickland. If he gets dominated again, then people are going to say he's cooked and he definitely needs to retire. So it all depends how he would lose against Strickland. But no, it shouldn't affect his legacy.
The only thing with Izzy now is so easy to hit. Like Izzy was hard to hit. It was so evasive. kept everyone at length.
His
Pause.
decline is very Anderson
And-
Silva-esque, I have to say.
Yeah, they've just gone down sort of the same. They are, and for the middleweight divisions, that division alone, Anderson Silva and Izzy are the most pure martial art fighters like we've seen. The way they move, how loose they are, how smooth they are.
Yeah.
And they've sort of both declined in the same way, ain't they? Like Anderson never used to get hit. You couldn't punch him. Remember, he just moved his head. He'd have his hands down here.
Yeah.
He was just lean and move. You couldn't touch him. Izzy was the same.
The
And
only
then
difference is the leg break. Sorry to cut you, Jay. The leg break for Anderson, whereas
the leg break killed him. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and Adesanya they've just caught him up
They
and
just-
a couple of them
Yeah,
past.
it's like I always had a feeling as well. Anderson never evolved his game enough as he got into his later years in UFC, especially when wrestling became more of a stronger point in the sport. And I think with Izzy as well, I don't think they've evolved enough as time has gone on, and they still rely on the way they fight because they're just pure. I love watching them because they're pure mixed martial artists. They're just at the purest form. They're loose. They could throw a knee like an uppercut. Do you know how mental that is?
Yeah.
It's a joy to watch. But because they rely on that, and it's so good. I don't think they've evolved their games roughly enough as they got older. Where you look at some fighters, they can change their game a bit as they get older and evolve a little bit here and there. But yeah, it's a shame because they are the two best middleweights I've ever seen. I love them, man. I actually think there's an argument you can put Izzy first because Izzy might have been in an era where
They were better middleweights.
he had better middleweights to fight. That's not Anderson's fault, obviously. But when Anderson was at his absolute best, you could argue the best 185ers were in Pride at the time. So I don't know, but they're definitely 1 and 2. I'm not going to argue it's 1 and 2. It don't bother me. They're the two best I've seen. Yeah, the electric man, but they've sort of declined quite similarly.
Obviously, we don't know full details of Du Plessis' injury, but we know he's someone who doesn't necessarily take long layoffs. Luke, do you think this could potentially be detrimental to his career if he does have to take a long layoff? And if so, do you think we see a change of the guard in the middleweight division?
In what sense do you think that he'd be off for a while?
It seems like if because there's no talk of pushing the fight back or anything. It's just been told like the fight's not happening.
Well, it all depends on what his injury is because I don't think nothing's really come out about what type of injury it is. I don't know.
I think they're going to want to keep it as quiet as possible because if it's an injury that someone could get wind of,
if he's like torn his ACL, then yes, he needs to be stripped of like the belt and let him recover and then let the division move on. Just like JB said, once he's back, then he gets the belt. But if this is something that he's going to be out until later on this year, and the UFC are like, well, we can't really sit and have Khamzat do nothing. We need to get him to fight. He is technically the number one contender. Even though people think he's not, then we're going to need to get an interim title going. But no, I don't think it's going to damage Du Plessis if he needs to take some time off. He has done this before. Like he's not one of those fighters that goes into fights. You know how most fighters go in with some niggles. He makes sure that he's 100% before he takes a fight. Did the same thing with Izzy. Got injured,
So,
had to push the fight back.
DDP himself is saying he's not injured.
Where's he said this?
Where's he said that?
DDP resurfaces to shut down Khamzat following injury rumours. Word around the campfire is that DDP is injured and needs additional time off pushing what is expected Khamzat title defence late summer, depending on chance recovery time. DDP tweet, let's take a look at the last 2.5 years and tell me who.
Oh, so basically, Khamzat put out a tweet saying this is the biggest BS.
Yeah.
Saying this is my last 2.5 years.
Yeah, he's just come back with it. So DDP is injured. Looks like it's going to be a long layoff, actually.
It does, doesn't it? Because the fact they're not actually saying anything, that would suggest that, isn't it?
If that's the case, then he needs to be stripped. Like, I'm going to keep the same energy, like with Jones. If you don't want to fight, or if you've got a long-term injury, you have to get stripped of the belt now. You have to. Can't be holding up division. There's too much talent to just be sitting on your hands and do nothing.
That's the most bot
Yeah,
question.
yeah, absolute bot in it.
Because we're not gaming. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're definitely not gaming. Definitely not gaming. Speaking about two fighters who aren't playing games, and that is Ian Machado, Garry, and Carlos Prates, who will be battling each other at UFC Fight Night this weekend in Kansas City. Carlos Prates originally meant to take on Jeff Neal at the last pay-per-view. However, Jeff Neal got injured and in-stepped once again Ian Garry. Ian Garry stepped in on short notice against Shavkat. He's now doing the same against Carlos Prates. Jay, Jay, I'm coming to you first because you've made no secret about your thoughts about Ian Garry, the person. Do you have a newfound respect for him now that he's taken a Shavkat fight and he's taking this one when he really doesn't need to?
Man's taking dangerous fights, man. I'm up for that. He's not taking easy fights. Like how many times we moan about certain fighters taking easy fights?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
These two dangerous fights, man. Prates is no joke, and obviously Shavkat, and you know, I actually rate the guy highly for that. I actually think he's a very good martial artist as well and a very good fighter.
Yeah,
thought he had a great fight with Shavkat.
Yeah.
And I think he'll have a good fight here with Prates as well. I think he'll have a good fight here as well. And it all it does, it carries favour with Dana White and the brass. That's what it does.
Yeah.
Because they will look at it and go, Ian Garry's done us a solid twice now.
Twice, yeah.
You know, let's give him a layup fight next.
But he needs to win this one though.
Yeah, if he can win this one, let's give him a layup fight. Let's give him a layup fight that we know he can do. And then we can move him on again the next time. And maybe give him a title fight. So, you know, if Ian Garry beats Prates at a good showing against Shavkat, and then they give him a layup fight or something next, then his next fight's probably for the title.
I was gonna say. So currently, Ian Garry, if I'm not mistaken, is ranked number 7 in the division. If I'm not mistaken,
ranked 13.
Prates is ranked 13.
I think he needs another one.
So you reckon? Now Ian would need one more after this.
Yeah.
Prates. Do you think there's any world where, let's say he goes out there and starches Ian Garry in like the first round? Do you think there's a world where, because let's be honest, we know what the UFC is like. Do you think there's a world where Prates could potentially get the title shot next? Because in the rankings, let's say Della Maddalena, let's say Bilal wins actually, which is what we all kind of believe. He's beaten Sean Brady already. Ratmanov, we don't know what's going on with his injuries. Leon Edwards is off the back of 2 losses. Usman hasn't fought in ages, so can't get a title shot. And Joaquin Buckley's last win was Colby Covington. If Prates beats Machado Garry, he's ranked number 7, but he'd effectively have the best name on the resume of recent times. And if he does it how we expect he would win a fight, it'd be the most exciting way.
If he wants to finish it quick, just like, and I quote, just like his mummy likes it.
No, he didn't say that.
That sounds like something I'd say.
Yeah, that's a Jamie line. That's wild.
That's mad. I like
That's
that.
wild.
Pause.
This right here is why I don't think I could ever do like the whole like celebrity boxing or celebrity fucking. Someone says that to me, I'm crashing out there.
So, Prates is ranked for 13th, isn't he?
Yeah. But if he beats Garry,
they just swap positions, don't they? They swap positions.
Pause,
yeah. And then
whoa.
And then you got Sean Brady, who's probably in the next in line, you would say, wouldn't you?
I mean, is he though?
I would have thought so. He destroyed Edwards and he's number 1 ranked. Surely he's the next in line.
Hey, whoa. Stop. We know these rankings don't mean shit.
Oh, they don't. But
they don't mean
the argument could be that. No, you're right. He should be, but the argument could be that if Bilal wins, the argument could be, well, Bilal battered Brady. Why do the fight again when you've got a fresh matchup in college?
We know the second Bilal drops that belt, I'm sure we'll touch. We'll maybe touch him. Islam's gonna go. Hi everyone.
Yeah,
I need a title shot, brother.
But Jay, you're right. But check this out, and I'm going to look at how I think the UFC might look at it. Sean Brady beat Leon Edwards, who everyone knows his kryptonite is wrestling after that Bilal fight. So no real surprises. Brady did what he did to him, especially with how Edwards has performed recently.
Yeah,
Prates is part of the fighting nerds who Ruffy got probably the knockout of the year so far against Bobby Green.
Fighting that's serious.
John Silver just destroyed Bryce Mitchell and started barking in the cage. If Prates goes and beats Garry in spectacular fashion, because of what the fighting nerds have done, because of the reputation they're building, because of the fanfare they've got, because of the lack of notoriety Sean Brady's got, and the fact that he would have lost to the current champion, I think Prates could get the next title shot.
Yeah, he could do. Because Garry is a name. But the thing is, though, with Ian Garry, I believe if Ian Garry wins, I think if Ian Garry wins, they do Sean Brady and Garry next.
I agree with that.
Does it happen in Ireland?
I reckon Ian Garry has probably stipulated that's what he gets if he wins.
Rightly so, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
He
I want to
has
fight in
to get
Ireland, man. You won't let me fight in Ireland.
Yeah, even that as well. Even that.
But that ain't gonna happen because the UFC don't do that anymore.
No, they don't. They really don't.
Have to go to PFL.
Obviously, Luke, you mentioned Islam Makhachev. Arman Sarukian has spoken about Islam Makhachev and him coming out saying basically he doesn't want the Ilia Topuria fight because it's at 45, and Arman Sarukian obviously is agreeing with that because he wants to fight. Do we think that Islam Makhachev is literally just waiting to see what happens with this fight between Della Maddalena and Bilal Muhammad before making the decision what he's going to do next?
Oh, yes. But I did see somewhere that apparently it had like rumors that it has been confirmed that that Islam and Ilya are fighting at International Fight Week. How true that is, I don't actually know. Ilya says that he's in camp, and the rumors is that he's fighting for a belt, and he ain't fighting Volkanovski for the featherweight strap. So unless they've shoved a obscene amount of money in front of Islam, and to guarantee him you're getting a welterweight title shot, that's the only way that
if he's in camp, yeah,
it has to be. There's no way he's taking another fight. Surely not.
If I'm Ilya, I don't take anyone but Islam. That's why I moved up.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, and as I said, it sends the complete wrong message to the rest of the fighters who have belts and want to move up. Because it's just going to be them saying, well, I'm not going to relinquish my belt because you're not going to give me the title shot.
No.
Which is going to hold up more divisions.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what you got to do over there, man. It's so Bilal. So let me have a look at the rankings here. So in the 170, so it's Bilal versus Jack Della Maida, ain't it?
Yeah.
So Bilal wins that. I do not want to see Bilal Brady, by the way. That would be hideous.
Last time, bro,
and Bilal not Brady out.
And now I don't think Bilal fights that anymore. I think he's too safety first now. So
to be fair, Bilal's always been safety first.
Yeah, he's definitely. Because he watched Brady's performance, I think he's going to leave. You know, he's not going to go there. I think Bilal, Ian Garry's a good dynamic fight. I think that's the fight you make.
I think that's a winnable fight for Ian Garry as well.
And then you can have Ian Garry as champion, and then run back Ian Garry Shavkat rematch maybe as champion. I mean,
yeah,
you can do so many things at 170 division. It's quite stacked. There's a lot of fighters there.
I like it. Speaking about title fights, Volkanovski is once again a featherweight champion after a great fight against Diego Lopez. Everyone knows it should be Evloev next.
Yep.
Evloev has come out and said he vows to break Volkanovski when they fight. Now, look, Volkanovski is obviously a beatable fighter. We've seen him beaten twice now. We haven't really seen anyone break him, though. Like, let's be real. He's been stopped on short notice by Islam Makhachev with a head kick. And he got stopped by Ilia Topuria, who pretty much stops everyone. breaking someone suggests that you're going to take them into deep waters over a course of 5 rounds and then just maul them. He's been in there with Islam Makhachev, and Makhachev didn't do that to him. Do you think Evloev has a chance, not just of beating him, but actually staying true to his word and breaking Volkanovski in that octagon?
I don't think Volk loses a fight in this division unless his name's Ilia Topuria.
Yeah.
And the only other fight he lost was going up against Islam. So in this division that he's in now, he just dealt with Diego Lopez. Yair Rodriguez he deal with.
He's dealt with
Arnold,
him already.
Yeah, Arnold Allen, Brian Ortega. No, it's literally no. Sterling, no. Josh Emmett might have.
Sure, Jade. Sure, that's Jamaica.
What, Josh Emmett? I didn't know that.
No, the way I'll remember. The way I'll mean Sterling.
I think Josh Emmett has a puncher's chance. Because of the way he throws them punches with.
Right hand.
I don't think he'll get a title shot. He just lost to Lerone Murphy. He won't get.
I don't see the only way Volk loses his title in this division now. No Ilya there is just Father Time beats him. That's it.
Is the featherweight division dead, guys?
Oh yeah, it's brown, man. It's gone. It's brown bread, man. It's dead. Yeah, it's gone.
Literally, if Evloev loses to Volk,
it's done.
Like, what happens with that division?
Lerone Murphy, step up. It's not looking good.
Look, I like Lerone, and obviously he's UK and all that.
Division's cooked, man. Unless you're going Sugar Short, you win the belt, let you jump up. Let him have a super fight straight off the bat. Come on, Sean.
Volk would destroy O'Malley.
It would be ugly what it would do to O'Malley.
Or be like Marab.
Right. So that was the next question.
Marab. Just do Volk Pantoja and get it done with.
You say you want Pantoja to go up 2 weight losses?
Yeah, but Volk's not. The thing is, though, Volk ain't actually the biggest.
He's not. But do you think that's what I was going to ask? Do you think Marab would have a chance? I know Marab's extremely humble, and he's come out and said Volk would kill him, but Marab's not an easy fight for anyone.
I think Marab beats Volk.
You think Marab beats Volk?
I think this version of Marab right now beats Volk.
Ooh.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Do you think they make that fight though?
No, because they're shit.
Yeah.
Because this company's going down the toilet.
Don't give us nice things.
I would love to see Marab. I think Marab and Volk is an extremely close fight.
I would have said give us Pitbull versus Volk, but Pitbull just got
Pitbull looked like a Yorkshire Terrier, man. Let's lose that. I'm looking at Marab. This version of Marab right now, I think it'd be a very close fight. Him and Volk.
Unless Aaron Pico absolutely cooked on his debut for the UFC against like Sterling or like a Murphy or like an Ortega. Like if he comes in and he cooks straight off the bat, then maybe there's some life in this division. But if he just comes in and gets pitbulled and loses on his debut, then you're sort of looking going
rough.
Ooh.
Blind business. Marab is 5'4" and couldn't cardio kill Volk like others do. Has anyone ever killed Volk cardio wise?
No, but no, he's
never been like McGregor. Like McGregor, fancy dropping down to 145, McGregor.
See, here's the thing. Shout out to Blood and Beer. Blood and Beer has been really active in the chat, by the way. Shout out to everyone, especially Blood and Beer. Here's the thing.
This is alive, Blood and Beer. This is alive.
If Volk in his prime and McGregor in his prime fought, I know it's going to sound like I'm being silly here. I think prime Conor at 45 beats every featherweight in their prime.
The thing is, I think Conor in his prime could handle Volk's wrestling as well.
Yeah, because he barely got taken down, and when he did, he was comfortable there.
I think
women.
He would be. He would be because
he's a little tubby little Australian.
Conor had the best timing in the division. His time was ridiculous. They've got to do something with featherweight, man, because
the division's fucking cooked, man.
Marab goes out and does a super fight.
Are you going to say about Gene Silver?
No, I'm not. Who did Gaethje last fight? He said he's going to be going down to featherweight.
What, for Zeev?
It's Eve.
Fuck it. I'm down.
What for?
Giving
Zeev
someone for Baku. Give
Hey,
someone.
look at your face, Jay. You like it? You like it?
I do like it. I think Faseev should fight at 45 personally.
Tell you why. I think he's got the frame for 45.
I think he was
For
too
Zeev
small.
versus like for Zeev versus like an Emmett for you for
Oh,
you
that would be-
Azerbaijan.
Hang on, Faseev Emmett in a violent fight.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, give me that fight.
That's
Violent,
fun.
man.
That's fun. Yeah, I
Him
like.
versus Sterling.
No.
We have. I think what UFC have got to do. UFC
Good,
right
good,
now have to think of challengers to Volk, because I think Diego Lopez will eventually one day be champion, but he's a young, he's going to get there eventually. Ilia's gone now. Yari Rodriguez he's been up and down all the time. He's been there, done it. He's never going to get it. Arnold Allen's crap. Brian Ortega's Brian Ortega's basically dead. Sterling. Josh Emmett.
They're gonna do Lopez and
Josh-
Rodriguez. Yeah.
Lopez Rodriguez would not, Jay.
Say I would. Gene Silver though.
He's ranked number 11.
I'll do Sterling Silver next.
I
That'd be my next fight for Silver.
I don't really want to see Sterling there.
I'd get Silver versus Allen. Silver Allen.
But we got. See, if you look at 145, yeah, and you look at the bantamweight division, you got Merab, O'Malley, Pan, Umar, Sanderhagen.
Yeah, that division's cooked as well because Merab's fucking beating all of them.
Yeah, but
That's
not
all of them. You have to fought Sanhagen and Figueiredo.
And then you look at flyweight. Pantoja's just cooked everyone.
Yeah, Pantoja's
The three lightweights. The three lightweight, and he got 155. That's just off the chain at the moment. That's quality. Flyweight, bantamweight, and featherweight have got a bit of an issue. They got a bit of an issue because their champions are so above everyone in their division, and then the whole division itself is quite evened out, isn't it? It's quite evened out. They need a superstar. They're looking for someone. Maybe it's Silver.
I think you might have to do. All right, so when you take Max and Ilya out of the rankings, Diego Lopez is number 1, Evloev is number 2, Yair number 3, Allen number 4, Ortega number 5, Lerone Murphy number 6. I would go Arnold Allen versus Fiziev. Because if Fiziev wins that, then he's the next title contender, and he's got a big enough name now to fight Gaethje twice.
They gotta have to find people. They gotta have to say to people that are not really doing anything at 155. Do you want to drop down? Can Charles Oliveira drop down?
No, gosh, no. He struggled at that weight.
Yeah. I'm trying to actually think. There's actually quite a lot of big 155ers, to be fair.
They're massive now. Sharukin can't drop down. Oliveira can't. Gaethje can't.
Chandler?
Nah.
Nah,
I don't think he could. Nah.
Dan Hooker maybe because he's skinny.
Nah, Hooker tried it.
He tried it before, didn't he? You've literally got no one, actually. You've got no one.
There's no one in that. If anything, the 55s are probably looking to go up to 170 now.
Yeah, so in my opinion, if O'Malley doesn't beat Merab, O'Malley goes up.
And he gets cooked.
He gets destroyed at 45.
Because he's tall, he can do it. Because he's got the height, so he can take the weight. If
O'Malley goes up to 45, I want to see him fight Sterling in the rematch.
Yeah, that'd be decent, man. I'd love to see Merab Volk. I'm trying to. Let's look at this bantamweight. We haven't really got fights.
No, we haven't.
Maybe this is a one where you just put title versus title.
Maybe you have to.
Volk.
Maybe you just got to go champion versus champion. If Merab wins, you go, look, we're going to do a super fight later in the year. Champion versus champion.
Yeah, then forget about me.
Pantoja, I'd love Pantoja Merab. Pantoja Merab.
Fuck it. Triple threat match. Pantoja versus
Pantoja Merab is the one I want to see, if I'm going to be honest. That's the one I want to see.
No, new concept. New concept, triple threat match. Volk versus Pantoja versus Marav, triple threat match.
Yeah, these 155ers are too big, man. They can't go
All the
down.
belts on the line.
Faziev is the only one. He's a small 155er.
Yeah, he is. Boys, right. Before we go on to our last topic, people, do smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, but more importantly, go and subscribe to Jamie's channel, go and subscribe to Luke's channel. Their links to their channels are in the description. Sean Strickland is in the news again, guys. He sparred another influencer. This time he's dropped an influencer.
Beautiful.
That bloody time.
What's your thoughts on it? Like, firstly, you've got to be pretty stupid to go and spar Sean Strickland now with all the evidence we've seen about what he's like in sparring. But secondly, are the UFC going to get to a point where they're going to kind of want to wash their hands of Sean because they're just not going to want to be involved in? Because if Sean actually does hurt someone for real, the UFC ain't going to want to be involved in that.
The thing is, though, if they sign waivers to get in there, then it don't matter, does it?
They sign waivers with Sean, not with the UFC.
Yeah, but the thing is, if they sign waivers with Sean and Sean does some damage, they can't really. I don't think they could do anything about it. The thing is, though, Sean Strickland fights more aggressive in training than he does in a real fight.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like he is literally a bully, isn't it? Like that's
yeah,
just how
he's just a bully, man. I used to like Strickland. I used to like some of the things he came out with, but then the story it gets old now, and it gets like, you know, and now he just looks like a bully. Yeah, some of these influencers have got a big gob, and you know, they think they can do this and do that, and they think the world revolves around them and all this shit, and you know, Sean's putting them in their place. Yeah, fair enough. But when people watch how aggressive he is in training, and when the big lights are on him, and he fights on the back foot, and he fights kind of cowardly, people go start
like this.
Yeah, people go start questioning it. They go, "Why are you aggressive like you are in training, man?"
Yeah.
I know you're fighting influencers, and you're just taking the piss out of them because they're not skilled. You could, you know, if you saw him in the street, you'd rip them limb to limb. Yeah. But I think Strickland would actually, he would suit like influencer fighting. He would, man.
Yeah, just fight influencers.
But he makes money. He makes UFC, he makes money for UFC. Like that's the thing. So
you reckon he is a big money guy?
No.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think anyone's a big money guy, to be fair. But I think Sean's popular. I think Sean's got a fan base. He's got a particular fan base.
Fan base is not as popular as.
But the only problem is, if they want to go to Netflix or Prime Video, he's the way he isn't going to cut it.
Yeah, it's bad for business.
It's not exactly.
When you're doing pay-per-view as a pay-per-view model, you can do whatever you want almost because people are paying to see it. If you're not, if you're not paying to see it, you're not seeing it. Yeah. But if it's a streaming service, you know, where anyone can access it, then they can't have that shit about, can they?
Yeah, very true.
Sean Strickland's just a likable Colby Covington. Fight style's boring and so needs to yap to sort of make himself interesting. He's just a more likable Colby Covington. That's it.
Yeah, when he's more likable than Colby Covington, that ain't a good thing for Colby, you know. That's
bad.
That's it. That is Sean Strickland in a nutshell.
Have you heard Sean Strickland when he ain't gobbing offload and just talking normally?
Yeah, he seems like he's all right.
Sounds like a nice man. He seems like a great guy. But then he's like, I bet when the cameras are off and he ain't showing off, I bet he's well nice to be around.
Yeah, I reckon so.
He's one of them guys when the camera's on him, he just wants to be the show, don't he?
Yeah. Definitely could have a tear up. Like he'd
kill you. Yeah.
He'd bat the average human, but
yeah, exactly.
He goes too far with it. And I actually think if he actually toned down his antics, he'd probably be more well received.
Yeah, because he's kind of popular. You know, when he hits the octagon, he does get, you know, he's a popular guy. So
yeah.
You know, he could have easily been the face of the company at one time. Because he started to get to a bit of stardom, didn't he? A bit of popularity, and then you know, it got a bit out of hand and got then it went. They didn't run with it, but don't know what you do with him, though.
Me neither. Do you want to touch on the Eubank Ben stuff?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
This Saturday.
How are we feeling about it, guys?
We've seen the dads, now we've seen the sons.
Yeah, a lot.
It's not going to be anything the same.
It's not going to be anywhere close to the fight of their dad.
Ben's going to get annihilated.
Luke, obviously you're younger than me and Jay. Have you actually watched the Eubank senior fights yet? Eubank and Ben seniors.
Oh, just YouTube them, man. They're free to do
Yeah.
on YouTube,
No,
man. Just,
Yeah, they're
they're
quality fights, bro.
classics. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first fight in the M&M Arena, Manchester Evening News Arena.
well, I can tell you for one thing, this fight ain't going to be no classic.
Ben's getting destroyed, man.
Because either Chris Eubank's going to get chinned or Chris Eubank Jr. is going to cook Conor Ben in a frying pan.
He's so
He's
small.
going to make omelets out of him.
He's just so small, man.
Little steroid cheating bum. This
He's
fight
tiny.
should not be happening. Conor Ben's a cheat. He's a scumbag. I don't care if he's been cleared because boxing, we know, is corrupt. He's a dirty cheat. He had enough sports. He had enough drugs in the system to kill a fucking horse. So, Conor Ben, go fuck yourself. Don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourself. I hope Chris Eubanks Jr. absolutely cooks you. Chris Eubanks Jr. has been cooking him every single interaction. He's been cooking him and Eddie. It's a fucking disgrace this fight's even happening.
I've got no respect for Chris Eubank.
Same.
He's binned his dad off. Now his dad's talking shit about him, his own son.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, man? Just, I think he noticed that his dad was just trying to take his limelight.
Yeah, it feels like it.
And he wants to destroy a cheat. Look, I never used to like Chris Eubank, but he's grown on me a little bit. Nigel Ben's just too small. He's too small, is Ben. Conor Ben, sorry.
His head is too small.
Conor's too small. And I don't think Conor's actually that good a boxer.
No, he's not. He's an average boxer.
And I think, Chris has fought at world level. I don't think he's been a world champion yet, but he's fought at world level.
Yeah, it's been
his experience factor is much higher with Chris.
He's got one of the belts at 160. He's got one of the belts at 168.
Yeah, I hope he smashes the
WBO
shit.
or WBA.
Yeah, I hope he smashes the shit out of him personally.
I hope he bounces his head off the canvas.
It's going to be a big fight. It's a popular fight. People want to see it.
Say, even though that's what you both want, do you think that's what's going to happen, though?
Yeah, I think it is. Eubanks Jr.'s got a point to prove.
I think Chris is too good, man. I think Chris is too good for the I don't think Conor Ben's even that good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Nah, ironically, since he got caught, his comeback fights, he's looked fucking shit.
Yeah.
Go figure, eh?
He's off to whatever it was he was taking, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Off the eggs.
Don't boner pills cover steroids if you take them after it or something like that?
Yes. I tell you what else. Do you know what I was watching? What was I watching?
I need to know for the future. So.
You know Sacco, guys, when Sacco got done for the drug stuff, do you know what it was? That he got done for? Having poppy seeds on his sandwiches.
Poppy seeds?
You know the ones that look like sesame seeds? Yeah.
But ain't poppy seeds got a thing in it?
Poppy seeds, if you have too much poppy seeds, you fail a drug test.
Yeah, because poppy seeds they can be like a drug. They can make you high, can't they?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Poppies are dangerous. If you you can't go in a poppy field. You're like high as a kite, man.
That's what, so obviously mistakes can be made, but look, even with that, Sacco had to literally go back to the restaurant where he was having the sandwiches from and prove that that's what it was. Conor Ben's never proven what it was. Why his
he took boner pills.
Oh, might be in my system, might not be in my system.
Yeah,
he took something to cover his
steroid.
Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
And look, Conor Ben's only popular because of his old man.
Yeah,
and everyone loved Nigel. Everyone, he's a national
love
hero.
Love Nigel.
So we had the dads. Now we got the sons, and I'm sure we're going to get the
Eubanks Jr.'s cooked his dad as well.
Sure, we're going to get the aunties soon as well.
But boys, Jay, firstly, have you got anything coming out on your channel that you want to tell the people?
I'm doing Big Up tomorrow at 8:00. Got the Italia Coppa between AC Milan and Inter Milan.
You're not watching Palace Arsenal?
No, man, I'm doing it. I do my Italian games, man.
Yeah, you do the Italian games, isn't it?
But obviously,
what happens if we become league champions tomorrow?
Well, this is the thing. If Arsenal win at the end, if Arsenal lose and Palace win, obviously, I think we're all going live. So
yeah.
We're all going live.
This will be the only time that I'm having tomorrow. It's the only time I'm hoping Arsenal win.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I want Arsenal win tomorrow.
That's
Well,
it.
Arsenal to draw.
Hope-
A draw is still good enough.
Poppy plants produce opium. There you go. I knew it was something like that. Yeah.
That's crazy. Luke, what about yourself, bro? Anything coming up?
No.
We'll work on something.
Yeah, just not at the moment. No.
Fair as well, boys.
So blunt.
Once again, always a pleasure doing these shows. Always appreciate you giving up your time to do these shows as well. We'll have a show coming out tomorrow, a pre-recorded show with me and Colin Crandall, doing a deep dive into this weekend's fight card. And then probably we'll go live again on Friday. I don't know why it keeps on happening. My chair just keeps on like it's happening now. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah,
I'm just slowly
weighing you down.
Yeah. It might be. I'm putting on that timber in it.
No, your wallet. I said.
My wallet. I wish. I wish, bro. I wish. Look, it keeps. Look. It just keeps on going down. Pause.
That's not good. You want to go up.
Yeah. I know.
Stay there.
Yeah. But now, people, do smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. But as I say, and I will always say, go and subscribe to Jamie's channels and Luke's channel as well. People, make sure you look out for that show with Colin Crandall coming out on Wednesday, maybe later on in the evening, and then might be live with Coppage tomorrow night, depending on how results go. So time will tell, people. Been another one in the books, people. It's another combat catch up. This time next week, when we do the next one, we should be Premier League champions, and it will be very, very sweet, people. Thanks everyone for watching and listening to Mr. Sanderson Show. Take it easy, everyone.